Welcome back, everyone. New School Sensei. I'm your host, Lance Douglas. We've got Ken Douglas as well with me, my partner in crime. So we're doing all our very practical take-home messages for coaches, particularly coaching martial arts, kids martial arts. This topic, it's very important. I think in today's day and age, especially, a lot of kids, their attention spans are a lot less. I hate to say it, this is anecdotal as well. I feel like the kids are getting a little bit more obese. I'm not sure how to say that a bit more kindly. Maybe they're getting a bit more, how would you say, PC, Ken?
Oh, PC. It's just different. It's just
Yeah,
different.
just different. Yeah.
I think everything's fast food. You got Netflix. You don't even have ads anymore. YouTube Premium. We've literally everyone's pantry is fully stocked. Like, mate, you need Butler's pantry. Yeah, you got your fridge. You got your garage fridge. You got your drinks fridge.
Yeah.
You got the fridge in your bedroom. All that's everything. We're fully stocked. True.
We just had
Everything we
Halloween
can
here in
have.
Melbourne, so kids have got lollies galore.
Mate, that was funny actually, like, just seeing the state of some kids' teeth is a lot different.
Holy moly, yeah. So that's a sign of the times. So this concept is all about zero downtime. We learned this more than 15 years ago, probably 20, 25 years ago. Not many people know that back in the day, Ken and I, we did a lot of after school coaching at primary schools. We were in all the primary schools in Newport Williamstown for a couple of years. And the state government, they had a lot of money and literally they trained us up. They had the top PE teachers that would come in, they would supervise us and give us feedback. Because you've got a normal PE teacher, they're a PE teacher at a school. These guys were managing whole districts. So we had the creme de la creme of PE teachers giving us feedback and just kind of guiding us in our early 20s. So I think that's a big part of how Ken and I, I don't want to toot around horn, but, got, so good at coaching. What do you reckon, Ken?
Oh, it's just the reps that we've had, from teaching those after school care programs and then just running a school, like multiple locations. It's just reps, bro. Ninja parties, birthday parties on the weekend. Mate.
Even we've done the big seminars at the schools, 100,
Yeah.
200,
Yeah.
300.
Yeah.
And your favorite seminar at I won't name the school, but we did a
Don't
week of seminars at a private school, yeah, Kenny?
Yeah. 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 One of the wealthiest schools and, no, we won't
It
say
was
too
funny,
much
this
of that.
school, it's probably like, 30, 40K a year. And for some reason, maybe me and Ken were very gullible in our early 20s. We did a whole week of free seminars for this private school. It was, yeah, they couldn't get away with it today, but different time back then.
And Lance,
Now,
I
yep.
still remember we started one of the sessions by just cleaning up rubbish. They put us in one of the sessions in this outdoor basketball court or something like that. It was filthy. And me and Lance like, nah, man, not, we're not having it, mate. This is a joke how filthy this is. A private school. And that basketball court, there was that many chip packets. I don't know what was going on. We literally got them to get us some bin bags and we cleaned. We picked
Yep.
up rubbish for 5-10 minutes. And they're right, Lance.
Because we weren't getting paid. So at least we want to make sure our space is clean. And like, you wouldn't believe it. The school's 30, 40 grand per year. They didn't get the cleaners out there. So we got the students. First lesson of karate is modesty and service. So we got them cleaning, old school, wax on, wax off. They were picking up rubbish. And I think that's a great way to, let's get into the session. So zero downtime. This is a concept where it sounds very obvious, but it is often overlooked. Typically, when you run an activity or game, that's all good. The students are occupied, they're engaged, they're learning, they're building skills. But when you have to explain the next game or drill or concept, that's when your kids can muck around. Yeah. Especially if you're talking and explaining for, 5-10 minutes, I can understand why a kid would muck around. So, Ken, run us through some of your tips and tricks. How do you make sure your kids are always engaged?
Yeah, so essentially, the reason why we want zero downtime is because we want the kids to be fit and healthy. Yeah, so if there's a lot of downtime in the class, if you got a 45-minute class, but you only really got 15 minutes of activity, it's going to be, mate, it'll have to be some really high intensity, like CrossFit stuff to get them, get the results we want.
Just
And
run into
also,
Tabatas.
and also, downtime is boring too, especially for kids. That's when they muck around. That's when they don't listen. That's when things happen that you don't want to happen in that downtime. So a few different ways that I wanted to approach this topic was, if we look at a old school class, yeah, you probably got downtime while the coach is explaining a technique, explaining every nook and cranny of that technique. You probably got downtime because you got to get students up to do their patterns, their cutters, their pumses. So usually sit, whole bunch of kids down, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids come up. So there's a lot of downtime there. Then also you probably get a lot of downtime just like with any sort of paddle or kick shield drills, those long lines. You have a couple kids out with paddles, have 6, 7, 8 kids in the line, couple kicks back to the line, couple kicks back to the line. Yeah, so this is where there's downtime. Yeah. So a couple things that I like to do. So if we address those things while you're explaining a game, a drill, a technique, all that sort of stuff, we like to have the kids in a listening position. So at least they're getting some sort of benefit while they're listening. Could be they can hold a low squat. So, really opening themselves up, mobility, all that sort of stuff. Hold the splits, you know. You can hold the tree, a balance, like a yoga pose, holding a position, hold the bridge, like a plank, all that sort of stuff. That's one thing you can do. The next thing you can do, if it's essentially the same thing. If you need to watch kids individually and bring them out the front to perform their kata, which is a good skill, performing in front of an audience, okay, can be nerve-wracking. Great way for us to sort of build those skills in the kids. Same thing, get the kids while they're waiting, hold a plank, hold a bridge, hold a V, all that sort of stuff. Just give them a task to do while they're waiting so they're getting some benefits, some workout. Yeah, I feel like I'm hogging them all. How about Lance? Line
Yep.
drills, so using equipment, paddles, kick shields are really awesome. If you got limited amount of equipment, you got a lot of students. So this is something that most clubs would do. Okay. Do you have any things that you would do to make those line drills a little bit more efficient and less downtime? And then even something else to do instead of a line drill?
Yeah. If you have to do line drills, I can appreciate it. Maybe you got a lot of kids, you don't have much equipment, you're at a part-time facility. The thing I always tell my coaches, when in doubt, stretch it out. So if they're waiting, you can hold the splits. They can hold a low squat. They can hold a Cossack squat. They can hold a tree position, balancing on one leg. Get them doing something. Yeah. So when in doubt, stretch it out. For my classes, I pretty much never do line drills. I always do partner drills because one person is, working, maybe they're kicking, punching a paddle or a pad. The other person's holding. Yeah. So they're always doing something. And then when it's a partner drill, there's that interaction. And even better, I'll make it, say if you're kicking and you drop your hands, your partner can whack you on the shoulder. So there's that accountability as well. And it's almost like you're training your pad holder to be a coach. Now these things, if you've got high, I always tell the coach, you've got high energy, go for it, mate. You can run up and down the lines, tell off kids, this and that, fix this, fix that. But if you're low energy coach, maybe you missed your coffee or maybe you had too much coffee, your voice a bit croaky, you got the flu. All these little tips and tricks will just reduce your energy and then help you actually produce a good class.
100%. How about Lance, if you've got a lot of students and you need to do like a 3-person drill? So have you
Yep.
got any tips so that there's zero downtime for that third person?
Yeah. So if we're doing pads, so you get the one person holding the pad and then you get one person on the other side and the other person on the other side, they're kicking. So they go kick for kick, bang, 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 bang. So if you got 3 people, try and get 2 people working. Or it could be, if you can't get that person working, maybe, as they're waiting, they're holding a bridge or they hold a wall bridge. So you got 2 people working and the third person out is holding a wall bridge.
Oui.
So we always want the kids doing something. Or even could be 2 people working, one person's the referee. So as long
Oosh.
as they're active and engaged, if we're getting kids if the kids are idle and doing nothing, that's when they can muck around.
100%. How about if we switch gears? BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yep.
So I guess the line drills are a little bit different. It's not lining up on a paddle to kick it. It's lining up so that you can go in there and have a roll. Now, we do this because you've got a limited amount of space. You can't just have everyone rolling. And also, it's good for the coach to be able to see the action. If you got everyone rolling, it's like spot fires everywhere. Any tips for that jiu-jitsu coach that is doing a line drill, hey, you can get a little bit more activity?
You can get your kids. I've seen Ninos will do it. He'll get the kids. Well, he doesn't get kids, but he gets the adults. You get them coaching on the sidelines. So as you're waiting, you're coaching someone else. Give them encouragement. You might be cheering
Yeah,
them on too. Might add a little bit of pressure.
it is a tricky one. I know for our class of twins, the JITS program isn't too big, which is awesome. So I'm a big fan of those line drills, where like it's a sweep, submit, all that sort of stuff. For me personally, it's really good to have odd numbers because then you can always have one person in the line. So then
Yep.
everyone else is rolling. Winner stays in. You can do tons of variation, top, bottom, out, all that sort of stuff. But just have the one person in the line. So you're getting a ferocious workout. You're barely in the line. As soon as you're out, you're back in. But obviously, if you got a small mat space, you got 100 people on the mats, there is going to be a little bit of downtime. So I guess that's probably where there's some clubs, they just have to run longer classes to get that workout in. Yeah, Lance, like if you got 50, 60, 70 on the mat and you got limited mats, how would you implement this, this thing, Lance? Yeah.
I know we've done it like, say, if the kid's doing kata, the people are waiting, you tell them, okay, I want you to look out for what they're doing well. And then at the end of the kata, I'm going to ask you guys. So now the kids have something they're doing. Or it could be they got to learn it. So you got to watch, and I'm going to get you guys to try and see if you memorize it. So they're
Yeah,
just those little tips, tricks.
that's gold.
For jiu-jitsu, it is hard because there is going to be downtime. And I think just by the nature of the sport, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, the class will be a little bit more chaotic. And I think even more so with kids jiu-jitsu, you have to watch your class numbers.
Mm.
Like, a karate is on a 10 by 10 mat, a karate class, we could run 30 or 40. For jiu-jitsu, you could probably only run 10 or 15 kids. So that's just the nature of the sport.
I guess you'd probably say, and Greg Souders would probably say, you just have partner games instead of those line drills. Yeah. So there's
Oh,
zero downtime.
for for karate, I do all partners, but for jiu-jitsu, I'm a big fan of the line drill. Um, but line drill if they're young kids, it's
It won't work.
hard because if it's young kids jiu-jitsu, then I'd go more partner drills. If it's more teenagers, then you can do a line drill. It just depends.
It's probably because when you work with like adults, like we're getting tired, bro. So we need that break.
Mm,
Jiu-jitsu is a lot of effort. So sometimes
yep,
even if I win the drill, I might go, bro, stay in, and I'll just get in the
yep,
line. You know what I mean?
yep, definitely. Just to wrap it up, we do have. I know one of our coaches, Aaron. He does actually have a lot of downtime, and you can make downtime work, but you got to make sure the kids absolutely love you and respect you. Like, if the kids don't respect you and don't love you, they ain't going to listen to you. So if you build that rapport with the students, then like I know Aaron, he'll have downtime 5 minutes. Like he'll be explaining the drill for 5 minutes and it works for him. But if you're a newer coach, maybe if you don't know the students, then I would err on the side of caution and just go zero downtime.
Yeah, I like it,
Boom.
Lance.
Let's wrap it up there, guys. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Um, awesome. It's a big concept, particularly in today's day and age. Any questions, hit us up on our Instagram, and we'll see you on the next one.